Well, Ann Coulter is the best-selling author. Her latest book, In Trump We Trust. If you want the best Trump book, get it. In Trump We Trust, big bestseller. And her column, of course, you can get it online. You can go to AnnCoulter.com or follow her on Twitter, Ann Coulter on Twitter, Facebook, and now Instagram. Ann Coulter, how you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you, Mark Simone?
Good. You were tweeting up a storm yesterday. You didn't.
Well, no, I was just being a little testy.
You didn't seem happy with the president's meeting there with Congress.
No, nobody is, Mark.
Well, he's a negotiator.
It was stupid, but this was bad having ban and leave, mostly because there's no one in the White House who actually supported Trump and supported his agenda. I mean, that Wolf book, I totally believe, for one thing, it's actually not bad against Trump if you've read it. He goes after the media, calls them self-righteous, don't understand Trump, makes fun of the media, makes fun of the Russian investigation. In many ways, Trump comes across very well in the Wolf book, contra his interviews. He's sort of been pigeonholed into being, the pussy hat-wearing head of the resistance movement. If you actually read the book, it's pretty interesting, and you can discount the false things. But these were all things that people said to him. If you don't want people talking trash about you from your White House, why don't you hire people who supported you? Where is Pat Goodell? Where's Mickey Kaus? Where's Corey Lewandowski? Where's Chris Christie? Oh, I remember Chris Christie prosecuted Jared's father, so he can't get a job even though he was the first prominent Republican to support Trump. And you also end up with idiotic press conferences like that yesterday with Ivanka saying, "Oh, Daddy, show them your best side." And he sells out his base, says the first thing he wants to do is DACA. We need dreamers right away. He accomplishes nothing he wanted to accomplish personally. He looked utterly out of it. He doesn't understand what people are saying to him. Yeah, he said a few good things. You could chop it up and find some really great things. I loved when he said, so somebody pointed out, arrests at the border are down. And he said totally correctly, that's because of me and my rhetoric. Once I'm gone, they go right back up again. Brilliant point. That's why we need a wall. He was the one who raised when he or somebody else talks about the Dreamers as being kids. He said, come on, they're not kids. We're talking about people in their 40s. Great point. Fantastic. And then Di-Fi says, how about a standalone Dreamer bill? He's totally for it.
Wait a minute, though.
With Michael Wolff, certainly didn't help him with his base.
I disagree. Wait. He's a negotiator. That's just opening bids. That's round one.
Bid is I'm giving up everything?
That's just round one. It's good cop, bad cop.
3D chess. I didn't realize you
yes.
in a negotiation. Say, I'll sign whatever you send me, and the one thing I campaigned against, I'll sign it. Democrats who do not have a single branch of government give up nothing. Nothing.
Well, they'll end up giving up.
And MSNBC didn't spend the rest of the evening saying, we saw a different side of Trump. No, they're all giggling that he's getting rolled.
No, he'll get the wall in return for a little DACA.
Well, 2 points. Now in the second year, and we haven't even broken ground, and a little DACA is like being a little pregnant. As I've said before, and I will elaborate on in my column today, we've been through this before. Do people not remember the federal courts? Remember the Hawaii judge? Remember the Ninth Circuit? Any amnesty means 100% amnesty. Number one, the immigration officials in our government themselves, they waive all the requirements. They did it. They have done it for every other amnesty. English language requirement. Nah, we're cutting that. Fees. No, we're waiving those. Back taxes. We can't enforce that. No crimes. Well, let's not worry about that. There will be no restrictions on who gets in. With the special little agricultural amnesty that Chuck Schumer slipped into the 1986 amnesty, all you had to do, it was supposed to be, these poor, hard farm workers, and I actually agree with this. I mean, in theory, they've been doing backbreaking work. All you have to do is prove you worked on a farm 90 days in the previous year. The court said, how can they do that? They were working off the books. Don't worry about that requirement.
Well,
so they were accepting, the INS at the time determined that 900,000 of the applications were laughably fraudulent. They had applicants saying, they pulled cherries from the ground and the cotton was purple. Of the 900,000, it's actually less than 900,000. I think it was about 860,000. They approved more than 800,000. This will go before the Ninth Circuit. In 2007, 20 years after the 1986 amnesty passed, 20 years later, the Ninth Circuit was still granting amnesties to people. Any amnesty is a total amnesty.
Okay, wait.
There's no such thing as a little DACA. A little DACA means the entire third world moves here and becomes a citizen, and America is over.
Let's say he could get this trade, build the wall gets built, no chain migration, but we have a little DACA. Would that be okay?
Again, a little DACA is a little pregnant. No, that overwhelms everything else. It goes to the courts. You must understand the going to the courts part. You have to get that. It doesn't matter what the law says. It will seem so reasonable. Chuck Schumer and Di-Fi will go on the Sunday morning shows and, it's just the valedictorians and the ones who served in the military. And then the next thing you know, Muhammad Atta is going to be granted amnesty by the Ninth Circuit. Any amnesty is a total amnesty. And let's say we get a wall is getting to be like, let's say I invented a car that runs on dirt.
Well, we are going to get a wall, and you got a builder in the White House who can make sure it gets built and on time.
This is why we voted for him. This is what I expected, but it's not happening.
Okay, but let's say in the meeting he starts yelling at them and says, well, you're not getting any DACA, and that's it. They would have all just left.
No, I'll tell you exactly what his voters expected him to do, to calmly and reasonably say, look, we really need a wall. And speaking as a father, I don't want any other parents to have to go through what Kate Steinle's family is going through here. I'm horrified by the tragedy of black unemployment, and we just can't keep doing this to our fellow citizens. Read the Jordan report by civil rights icon Barbara Jordan. Low-wage immigration hurts blacks most of all. They are suffering. We have to put our own people first. So I want a wall, and the opioid crisis. That's just destroying family after family. It goes well beyond the overdosed kids themselves to destroy entire families. This heroin is 100% a problem of not having a wall on the border. So I'm insisting on a wall, which, by the way, I have the right to build without you guys in Congress. And I must insist, if you care about the working class and especially black unemployment, we've got to end this crazy chain migration and the visa lottery. That's what he should have said. He should not have said, well, DACA we're going to do first.
Well, he did say a very short version of why we have to have the wall, and he said, I don't think any of you would disagree on border security. But I think... Oh,
no. The second they say border security, that's no wall. Border security is what Marco Rubio says. That means we're not doing anything. You're being conned, voters. Border security, we'll hire more border guards who aren't allowed to do anything, but will be saddled with pensions for the rest of our lives.
All right, now here's what's interesting. Ann Coulter goes on with Lou Dobbs last night, and Lou Dobbs was sounding like you, and it's like with Cronkite. When you lose Lou Dobbs, you've lost the country or your base. So, President Trump watches that show every night, and then after that, he started tweeting out stuff a little more, along the lines of what you wanted, and he's just announced he's going to have a press conference today at 3:20 this afternoon.
Who is?
President Trump. A news conference today, so maybe he'll change his tune a little.
Too late. I've already written my column. Well, okay, I'll give him treats when he does good things, but no, he gets a swat with a newspaper when he does bad things, and that was bad yesterday. Bad with a capital B.
Oh, no, but that's good, because when he sees you or Lou Dobbs complaining, he takes that very seriously. So you may have moved him a little. You may have moved the needle on this a little.
Incidentally, Lou always, you're right, he's like you. He's a ferocious Trump defender. And whenever I criticize the Emperor God, Lou always jumps down my throat. So when they emailed me after the press conference yesterday and said, can you come on tonight? I emailed the producer back saying, okay, but tell Lou I'm not happy.
Well, he wasn't happy
he wasn't either.
No, so, and the president watches that show, and I think that helped move the needle a little. So we'll see today, this press conference at 3:20, what kind of difference it will make.
I think it would just make his life so much easier. I agree with him. He needs a Roy Cohn. And I know who it would be, and it's not some lawyer being moved over from the RNC. The staffing, as you know, I've been screaming from the rooftops about that since after the election, since the transition. Look, his Achilles heel is this wanting to be liked by New York swells and the establishment types and Goldman Sachs. That is killing him. It killed him with the Wolf Book. It is killing him with policy. They're, again, Mickey Cows, Pat Caddell, they are brilliant. They are Harvard graduates. They agree with him on all the important stuff. Caddell was hired as a pollster when he was an undergrad at Harvard. I can name a dozen more like them. Those are the people he needs, not half of Goldman Sachs.
No, all right. I hate to bring this up, Ann Coulter. Mm-hmm. Hey, we better just brace yourself here, everybody. What about him going to DACA? Going to Davos. He's going to Davos, Switzerland.
I gotta say, I don't really care about anything else. If I think it's a little bit silly, and yes, but who cares? Look, he can still do that. Just hire the right people for his White House. And as you know, Mark Simone, if I'm your friend, you will have no more ferocious defender. I don't care if he starts selling Ivanka merchandise from the Oval Office. I just want a wall.
You're going to get the wall. He's already...
Oh!
It's coming.
It's going to be 2020, and you'll be telling me it's coming. It's not that... How long did it take him to build Wallman Ring? A day?
Did you see when he said, they said 7 years? No way, it's going to be 7 years. I'll get that thing built fast, and he will.
No, I will admit there were flashes of fabulosity in that press conference, and you could go through, as I said to Lou last night, I could go through and put together a 30-second tape that would make Trump look like the man we elected. But then 30 seconds later, he'd take it back and be agreeing with DIFI that we want a standalone amnesty bill.
This is negotiating.
It's not negotiating to walk in and give up everything while the Democrats, again, no branch of government, nope, we're not budging.
He's the master at this. You look like you're giving up everything, but you don't in the end. There's round two, round three.
Grief. You were sounding like those nuts with the 3D chess. Anyway, I was looking up last night. I know we're getting to the end. Are we getting to the end? But one really interesting thing, I may put this in an upcoming column, although it's really fun to read through it. I was on Nexus for a few hours last night.
Oh, that sounds like fun, yeah.
No, it's totally fun. Oh my gosh, have the Democrats changed on immigration? It was I knew this generally, but to read op-eds from the New York Times, the Chicago Tribune, the LA Times, all of these Democrats saying a couple of years later, the 1986 amnesty didn't work. It's causing a bigger surge. We need security. We need to protect the working class. It's stunning.
You should write that as a column next week. It's
stunning to read this stuff. Oh, and all of these newspapers totally admitting, the drug problem. And by the way, it wasn't as big a drug problem before. Now we get 100% of our heroin from Mexico. Rodino, one of the co-author of the 1986 or co-named author 1986 amnesty, it was Simpson-Rodino bill. 2 years later, he came out and said, we've got to pass a law ending this, I don't think he said anger baby, but the idea that if you're born here, you're a citizen. And the LA Times, I think it was the LA Times editorial said, because the 1986 amnesty has proved to be so unsuccessful, Rodino is embarrassed, humiliated. This is what he's proposing instead.
Well, that's what they used to think. But then the donors came in and the special interests. And
donors are the ones bothering the Republicans. The Democrats figured out the amnesty illegals are voting for them.
That's true. Well, read Ann Coulter's column. Make sure you follow Ann Coulter on Twitter, Facebook. Get her book, In Trump We Trust, and go to AnnCoulter.com. You can get everything there. Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us.
Good to talk to you, Mark Simone. Bye-bye.
Take care.